I'm Khadijah, and I'm here to help you really unlock your potential. Today, we're going to be recording the first This is Market Pricing, where we discover how to survive and thrive in the AI shift. Because this is market pricing. I'm Khadijah, and tools die, but talent doesn't. So, why I'm teaching designers to survive and thrive the AI shift. I've spent a decade as a UX designer. I've worked internationally in fintech, and I've lived the startup Palo Alto experience. For most of that time, my job was straightforward to describe. I designed apps. It carried a mystique, a confidence. After all, doing anything related to creativity is seen as aspirational. Since the beginning, doing UX carried much more depth in my daily practice than just making pretty, clean, well-branded screens. It's easy to overlook all the underlying effort that goes into producing the screens. The UX process, after all, sounds straightforward. Understand a problem, explore what the solution could look like, produce the proposed solution as a screen, convince the client, PM, the CEO, whoever it is, that the idea, the screen, is the best solution, and deliver the assets to engineering. Hold their hand as they execute the vision. I even became good at process improvement and making those improvements stick in the product team. I built a career on the process and working to improve that process wherever I worked. Now, in the age of AI tools, I realize my role hasn't changed. I still do the research, facilitation, ideation. What's changed is the tool. The tools I use allow me to go farther, faster, and without all the headache of checking margins and padding and alignment so closely. I know that for many, the idea of AI making the screens, making the mock-ups, spells obsolete for the role of a designer. After all, what do we do if it isn't making screens based on requirements? Well, we do a lot more. I think this transition in tools is a moment for designers to stop and self-reflect on the role of UX design on a product team. What exactly do I contribute as a designer? How do I, as a designer, produce tangible impact on a team of engineers and product managers? These are the questions so many in product design will need to answer. For a lot of designers, I suspect answering that question is challenging when they focus so much of their time and design mind on the pixels and producing the screens themselves in tools like Figma. The panic of AI is going to take my job is quickly followed by a quieter, more disturbing thought. I don't know what my job is anymore. For me, I have to admit that the AI is a godsend. For me as a designer, my least favorite part of working as a designer is pixel pushing. So let's break down the role of UX designer and make sure we panic for the right reasons. Here's what I've come to believe after working with my favorite LLM to rebuild my personal brand. My LinkedIn somehow got deleted last year. Tragedy. In rebuilding my brand, it mirrors how I've chosen to work as a UX designer for all these years. The screens weren't actually the job. The job was always the decisions underneath the screen. What to build, why, for whom, and how to know if it's right. Producing the screens was just the visible, billable, feeling part of that decision. AI is very good at producing screens. It is not good on its own at knowing what screen is the right one for your users, your business, your constraints. That's still a human judgment call. It just got a lot less visible. Before, that judgment was just a lot less visible because it used to be wrapped in hours of manual production that made the screen look like the real work. So the shift isn't designers are being replaced. The shift is that the part of the job that everyone could easily see and argue over, the artifacts, mock-ups, prototypes, are shrinking. And the part that was always the actual value, the research, the facilitation, the decision, is what's left standing in terms of a role. If you don't already know how to do that part well, how to talk about it, prove it, and get paid for it, this transition is genuinely scary. If you do, it's the best thing that's happened to this career path in a decade. That's the whole reason why I'm speaking out about UX now. Not just because I'm jumping on a bandwagon and I think AI is so cool and so awesome. I mean, I do, but there's more to it. Plenty of people do that. It's because I've spent 10 years doing the actual facilitation, decision-making work underneath the screens. And I think that experience is exactly what designers, PMs, and engineers need translated into something usable right now. Not theory, not hype. A real system for taking a messy requirement, using AI to explore it faster than you ever could alone, and still being the one who proposes solutions and defends them. I'm not going to pretend I have this all figured out perfectly, or that I'm not still adjusting my own workflow in real time. I am, but that's actually the point. I'd rather show you what I'm learning as I build than wait until I've got a polished, finished answer that's already out of date by the time I publish it. So here's what I'll be writing about going forward every week in this space. The actual methodology. How I go from rough requirements to a facilitated, defensible decision. Using AI as a tool in that process instead of a replacement for my own judgment. What's actually worth your attention in AI tools. Not everything new, just what changes how you work, how we work. How to talk about the shift on social media, in your portfolio, at team meetings, in how you describe your own value. So the story you tell about your career keeps up with how the work has actually changed. If you're a designer, PM, product manager, or engineer who feels an uneasiness or dread when you see AI produce deliverables that used to take you weeks in only a matter of seconds, my message is this. You're not behind, you're not replaceable, but the version of your job that required you to push pixels is done. Let's look at what our roles as designers, engineers, and product managers look like in the age of AI. Let's make it a better place.